Oh, that was a good one. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, a daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So, the Dolphins have made a few moves in free agency. We've talked about them on this channel. Most of them not super splashy, but we just kind of planted guys in positions where we had needs. And we have a few unrestricted free agents. We have some people who were with the team last year who have not gotten new jobs. One of them is Emmanuel Ogbah, who isn't some like splashy, we love this guy kind of player, but we did draft him. And he was solid in filling in. Apparently, the free agent market has not been great for him because he doesn't have a job. So the question is, if he's been a free agent and the offers aren't there and he doesn't have a job, that typically lowers your value. And so the team who originally had you can kind of get you back on the cheap. Let's just be honest. And so the question is, why haven't the Dolphins re-signed him? Not sure. I wish I had some like major story though. They haven't re-signed him because of some character flaw. No, I think they're just kind of waiting to see if maybe more people become available. I think as we get closer to the draft, their draft strategy might align a certain way where, hey, we're going really heavy secondary, really heavy DO line. And so if he's not being signed, it's almost like, who are we bidding against? You're not being signed by us, and they don't want you. So you're just kind of sitting, and that might actually bring the price down even further. Like maybe he wants 1 year, 3 million, and we're like, we can probably get him down to 2.5. We just kind of wait him out a little bit, and so it's kind of a cat and mouse game where we can fill his position maybe more easily than he can find a new job, and so he just isn't working right now. But I do think he will be resigned. I don't think he won't be there, and also we're also waiting for Calais Campbell's decision. So if Calais comes back, then maybe we really pull any offer off the table. If Calais doesn't come back, then a little bit more urgency kicks in. So, all right, cool, maybe we'll let you come back. But I've seen his name floating around just like, yeah, looking for a job. Y'all was pretty good last year. And people are like, yeah, we saw you on tape. Just like not really giving him any love. So I don't think it's that deep. I do think it's not a super priority to sign him. I do think he wants to come back. I think we would bring him back under at the right price. And so we're just kind of in this maybe will we, won't we thing. You're kind of our backup plan, but stay where you are because we kind of do want you back. That's where I think we are right now. But I've been wondering this whole time, like, hey, are we going to sign him back? And as of now, the answer is no. Now, fully admitting this might feel a little clickbaity, a little clickbaity. How I'm setting this up, it might be a little clickbaity. I don't believe it is. Like if you really break down the details of it, but the likelihood of this happening very low. So Russell Wilson, free agent quarterback, Super Bowl champ, solid last year with the Steelers. Probably not as good as his numbers showed you he was. Like he was basically good, either really short or really deep, and nothing in between. But he's a free agent. He's a free agent right now, and he's looking at the Giants. He was looking at the Raiders. Raiders got Geno, not happening. The Steelers reunion seems like it's not happening. Also, Aaron Rodgers is floating out, so it seems like those two are playing this cat and mouse game. Minnesota is a weird team because I'm hearing Tannehill going to Minnesota as a backup, or maybe to compete with McCarthy. I don't know what's happening in Minnesota at the quarterback situation, but it does seem like the Giants are probably going to draft the quarterback, but need a bridge quarterback to get to that quarterback. That's what it feels like the Giants are doing. So Russell's talking to them, Aaron Rodgers is talking to them. Aaron Rodgers is also talking to the Steelers. So it may be a situation where if Aaron goes to Pittsburgh, then Russell just goes to the Giants. Then obviously he won't come to Miami. Easy decision, right? If for some reason Aaron Rodgers does not go to Pittsburgh, and then he ends up on the Giants, which to me would just be a terrible mistake. Just a terrible mistake for the Giants. Don't do it. But if they do it, then Russ is sitting out here like, now what? There's no starting jobs open. There's not even really any open quarterback competitions. I do not see him moving to Minnesota. So then what? The goal isn't to just be out of work for a year. Like he's in his upper 30s. He wants to play. And he wants to play. He wants to be at a place where he could possibly compete to play. And he wants to play. Right? So where could he go? Teams like San Francisco could be an option if they don't want to pay Purdy and they want some kind of backup. You can kind of move a couple pieces around. The reason I brought up Miami is because we know our starting quarterback is good when he plays. But he's had a tendency to get hurt. So if you want to go to a place where you know you might have a chance to play, then you go to a place with an injury-prone quarterback or a quarterback who isn't playing well. That's the reason why Danny Dimes went to Indianapolis because he's like, hey, Anthony Richardson has all the talent in the world. He's been hurt and he can't complete more than 50% of his passes. Let me go there and compete for the job. And if he has a couple bad weeks, they put Joe Flacco in to start a couple games this year. And Joe Flacco was, I don't know, 107, something like that. So if you're in a situation where I may not be given the starter job off rip, but there's a possibility of me becoming a starter, that's the thing. Also, the city of Miami is fantastic. If you want to be married to an R&B star, you want to be older, you want to have kids, you don't want to be in some cold weather, terrible city. You want to be in Miami. So the city at large means something. And the team has shown we are committed to Tua now. We have not shown we're committed to Tua forever based on how the contract is, based on the lack of restructuring. And so if Tua, one, gets injured, then of course we need a backup quarterback. If Tua struggles and it becomes a thing where, hey, you may have to get out these numbers, then there's a situation there. Also, y'all know how I feel about Zach Wilson. All right, I keep saying it because I'm seeing more and more articles of people like, oh, now Zach Wilson's good. Never. He's never been good. It's fine. So it's a long shot possibility. I don't know how much money he will want for a single year. I still feel like he's getting paid by Denver, so I don't like he has money coming in. But if it's a 1 year, $10 million situation, you and Zach Wilson compete for the backup job. And whoever wins out becomes the number two. Whoever we don't play, let him go. And then we move on from there. It seems improbable. I imagine he will go to a team, I don't know, a team that's like a contender team that doesn't have a good backup situation. And hopefully in the next quarterback cycle, some people just kind of play themselves out of a job and he slides in and takes a job. But I don't think it's completely off the table. I know we're trying to convince ourselves that Zach is the answer at backup. We've convinced ourselves Tua is the answer at starter. I don't know if either one of those is really set in stone, but if you have a guy like Russell Wilson just floating out there, it's hard not to think, hey, we have deep ball receivers. We now have three receivers that run deep routes, right? Jalen gets deep. We know Tyreek, Nick Westbrook, Akine does the same thing. What does Russell Wilson do better than almost anyone else in the league? Deep ball, moonshots. So is he going to sign with a team? It's unlikely. But if he was able to come to a team that's kind of made for his offense, we have a short quarterback now. Russell's even shorter than Tua. So we're used to a shorter quarterback. This is a right-hand, left-hand thing, but there's no other left-hand quarterback, so that is what it is. But what the offense wants to do is we need a smart quarterback that can read a defense, throw the ball deep. Russell Wilson can read a defense, throw the ball deep, a little bit more mobile. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. He's real quick to take a sack or throw the ball away instead of like doing something stupid with the ball. Like what he does well actually makes sense in Miami's offense, and he does a few things better than Tua, given our offense. Now is he good in that 10 to 20 yard range? Nah. Like he doesn't. I don't know if he just doesn't like throwing across the middle. I don't know if it's a height situation or if Seattle didn't play like that, Pittsburgh didn't play like that. I don't know what it is. Those intermediate throws he's not good at. Tua, that's where he's best. Tua 10 to 20 yards all day. Tua 40 yards down the field. If it's open, yes. If it's like tight window, dropping the bucket throws, less good. But that's where Russ is really good. So there's a complement situation where our starter is really good at main things. The backup's good at other things. You can kind of convince yourself why it can work. Just throwing it out there. I know it's unlikely, but let's just see. Now, this is what I believe actually is a real possibility. We've had Miami getting offensive linemen, a couple DNs, and a couple safeties with this first pick. There's another option. I do believe Miami can trade down and still get a player that they feel really good about. And I think Jahdae Barron can be that guy. Now, y'all know I'm a DB guy. Y'all know I'm an SEC guy. And here we are. We got both at the same time. What a beautiful topic for me. If you don't know who Jahdae is, he won the Thorpe Award last year, which goes to the top corner. People made controversy about this because they thought Travis Hunter would get it. He wasn't even nominated for it, which became a thing because he won like Player of the Year and then he won Heisman. I don't know how you become the best player in college, but not the best at your position. Different conversation, different day. But Jahdae was great last year. He's really good in coverage. He has really good balls because he had 5 picks last year, which is awesome. To be a good corner and get that many picks means you either buy the ball a lot or when the ball's thrown your way, you make good plays on the ball. He didn't give up a single touchdown pass all year, which is, if y'all know, y'all saw Texas play last year. They got up a lot and people were throwing a lot. throwing at him a lot, and they just weren't scoring on him. Now, he's a little undersized. He's sub 6 feet, sub 200. So, that is a concern. He's 5'11", like a buck 95. Could he get bigger? Of course he could. I mean, they have football regimens, it's proteins, it's all types of stuff. But he's not naturally a big guy. He's surprisingly good in the run, though, for someone who isn't big. Like, he will come up there and stick his nose in there. He's not afraid of playing run defense. He's not afraid of blitzing. He is not bad near the line of scrimmage at all. He's just not a big person. And so you always think on a second level, when you go to the pros, you're not a big person. Injuries might be a concern. That's always a situation, right? And I can't say that that's not a real concern. Ran a 4.39, which is fantastic. Great tape, good ball skills, winner in college. Like, we see all the things, right? The biggest thing is maybe undersized. That's the thing. He played in the slot and on the outside. I love versatile players. So is he going to be our DB2 next to Jalen? Possibly. Or if we pick someone up in free agency and we think, hey, we need more help in the slot, he can do both. So I think he can do all over the field. That's a really good option. I think we can get him 16 to 19. So there's a person at 13 that really wants to move up. Let's say it's in Arizona or a team like, I don't know, Pittsburgh wants to move up, get a quarterback perhaps, something like that. And we trade back. I think Jahdae will still be there because I think for sure Will's going first. Obviously, Travis is going first, then Will, and then Jahdae at corner. I think the third best corner being on board between 17 and 21 is very much on the board, and that can get more assets draft-wise, and we have a lot of spots to fill. So if you trade back 4 or 5 picks in the first round, you can pick up an extra third or fourth round pick, and that can only help the team. We have so many positions we want to build in. We can maybe draft 2 people at one position, hoping that one hits, and you still get the corner that you want. I think it's a really smart option. He's not rated as high as the other 2 because he's not as big. They're both over 6 feet. Will's not as fast, but he's obviously more physical. We don't need to get into Travis. Travis is the best overall player, right? So I think this would be a really good option for us. And again, y'all know I'm low on drafting safeties early. Really high on this option. Trade back, get more picks, get a player that's played, that's been impactful, good tape, high upside. Can't do anything better than that. But as always, guys, that's our time on Dolphins Daily. Thank you for tuning in to us. Sorry about the clickbait. We get Russell Wilson? I don't know. It's unlikely, but we'll see. We appreciate the love and support. Thank you for the likes and subscribes. We'll see you guys next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.